Hello everyone and welcome back to the mini city of Bricklington. Last episode we were working on this Botanic Gardens area here, and let me tell you, I am super duper happy with how this looks. I absolutely love all the colour and the natural feel of the gravel path. This addition has really brought Bricklington to life, not only because it has added a lot of nature, but also because of the building being placed on an angle. So, the plan for today's video is to come round the back here and do something about these exposed studs at the back. But before we do that, I'll show you a few of the additional changes that I have made since the last video. You may have noticed this new car park in the middle of Bricklington, and I must admit, car parks aren't the most exciting parts of a city, but every city has one and they're pretty much essential. This will allow for cars to park when visiting the museum, the Botanic Gardens, or any of the shops in our city. I wanted to create a division between the car park and the moving cars here. So I added a few plants, and this way you can really tell the stationary cars from the moving cars. And after I added the car park, I added a little bit more detail to the green area. Behind the Botanic Garden, I've added a lot of wild flowers and green plate to make the transition between the one brick height here and here more gradual. And I've also done the same in the front here with the grass transitioning to the rocks. I also had a pretty good find at the Lego pad wall recently and came across these little plants here. I'm not too sure what these are meant to be used for, but in our case, these are great little trees. So today I also want to be adding some of these around here. I'm going to be using some of these green flower pieces to attach the trees to the studs. I like the height that these add. So we've got the small flowers and then we've got these big trees, and we really needed something in between those two sizes. So these do a really good job of adding a different layer of height that we don't already have. This whole area now is starting to look a lot more full, and I think we need to add something else around here. So probably another tree and maybe even a gravel path again leading from here to here, similar to the one that we have at the front, just to fill in that space. But it might look a bit strange if we just have a gravel road starting from the end of this area here. So I'm going to add a wee step down. This first one will be the same height as the end of the road, like that, and then this next one here will be a layer down, and hopefully this looks good. So we have a curve and then a tile and then another. So at least there's now a step there and it doesn't just immediately go to a gravel road like it does at the front, which I might change later. Like this one here, see, it just goes path immediately to gravel road. Or gravel footpath, so I might add a couple curves here and then ease it into the gravel, but I'll see. I'll leave that for now and let's just work on the new one. Quite a good path going on here. It's got a lot of curvature in it, so it doesn't look too straight, which is exactly what I was going for. Now in terms of a tree, I think we need to add one probably here, and maybe even two. Get another one going there as well, just to give the path a reason to curve this way. So there definitely has to be one here, and then maybe we can add a little bit more around the back, but I reckon tree first. So I'll build a tree and then let's place it there. So I've got another tree here, and I like alternating the leaves. So we've got, it's mostly orange because I've got those on the pad wall, but then I do have one red one and one yellow one with one orange flower, just to give it, you know, a little bit of interest and variety. So I don't want it to cover the path too much, so maybe not like directly next to the path, but how about somewhere like that? Yeah, that looks good there. Let's see what it looks like with the Botanic Gardens back in place. I think that works really well. It's basically an extension of the Botanic Gardens area now. Let's focus our attention over to here. I've just rotated the city around so that we have better access to this back corner. So this spot has its own couple of challenges. You may be wondering why there is a big gap right here, and that's because I need to be able to access the battery box that is beneath here. And that controls the moving cars. But I of course can't leave it like this because there's a bright pink plate here. So let's come up with something to cover this and probably make the battery box a little bit easier to turn on and off. Because at the moment I have to stick my finger down under here to actually be able to reach this orange switch here. And this is what I have come up with for that area. It's going to be a little facade of a building and then possibly a car park or just sort of some like pull-in area here. So it's not the most exciting design, but that's also because I want to know what you guys would suggest for placing in this area. That's just a very short building with a basic roof and overhang, but it does the job of covering up the battery box and the motor in the corner. Plus I have just tacked it down with 2 studs there, so it's easy to take off and then have access to the switch. Let me know in the comments what you guys would put here, because I am more than willing to change this depending on what your guys' suggestions are. This, at least for now, will do the job of covering up those exposed studs. So from the front, you can't see that anything's changed at the back here, but then when you look over the top, you can see the new tiling and the roof of the little building there. I hope you've all enjoyed this video, and if you have, please leave a like and subscribe, and I will see you all in the next video.